Welcome to the relaunch of Women in the Loop. I'm your host, Erika Lupo. This is the show where we shine a light on women who are breaking the glass ceiling, entrepreneurs, creators, and leaders with stories that inspire, challenge, and teach us something new. Women in the Loop began as a passion project, and now it's back bigger, bolder, and more inspiring than ever. Each episode is your chance to learn, grow, and celebrate women who are truly making things happen. So let's dive in, because here you're always in the loop. And today I am thrilled to welcome my guest, Dana de Giacomo, who is a medium and an incredible one at that. I have known Dana for, I want to say, about 15 years. She had a business locally in our town, and it was not a mediumship business. And we were having lunch one day, and she conveyed a message from my late husband who had recently passed. And that was the first moment that I realized the gift that Dana had. I firsthand had the experience with Dana. So I'm very excited to have her as a guest today and to tell us about her journey.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes,
I'm so excited to be your first guest.
I'm excited. How did you know you had this gift?
I think it started really from childhood, maybe like 7 or 8 years old. Just kind of intuitively picking up on the vibe in the room, people around you, knowing like when things were okay and when things weren't okay, just having some sort of an emotional sense, or walking into a situation that, say, was toxic or very overwhelming. I just knew. And it kind of spurred from that, as the years went by, teenage years, delving into all those teenage things that you wanted to do, the Ouija board and the tarot cards and
Love that.
stuff like that. I always had a fascination with it.
Yeah.
And so I think as time went on and the older I got, because I really think, when you're a teenager and, early 20s, you really just are figuring yourself out, in the regular life. So you don't really put a lot of stock in that, even though you have interest in that type of thing. It took me probably until I was around 30s to really start to embrace the things that would happen to me.
Can you give us an example of something that would happen that you knew that you had this gift?
This is going to sound odd, but like drop-ins is what I would
I've
call
heard that
it.
before.
So I would hear a word, or I would hear a situation in my head, or if someone was speaking to me, I would hear they're lying, not being truthful.
Oh, you knew.
Little things like that. And really, I think a lot of that was also to kind of help me too, like, navigate who to stay away from, situations that, really weren't in my best interest. Whether I listened all the time, I don't think I did. But as time went on, it became more prominent and really took an interest in what exactly is going on here and why is this happening.
When people have that intuition, is that similar to what you get, or is it something else? When you have a gut feeling about something, you should follow that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a psychic ability, or is that just something we all have?
I think we all have the ability. And I think that, yes, the gut feeling is definitely a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I'm speaking to people who are interested in mediumship or psychic work. I always say, like, you need to listen to your gut. It's important. Obviously, it goes deeper than that, and you develop certain things as time goes on. But yeah, having a good, understanding of what your body is telling you or things that are happening to you along the way is important. So everyone has it. Whether everyone develops it further is, up to them.
When you were growing up, was your family and friends accepting of it, or did you not share it, or did you just?
I never said anything.
You never said.
No.
You were in your 30s when you really acknowledged.
Started taking classes. Too many things were happening, drop-ins, visions, or just a knowing that I was really hell-bent on being, working on myself rather, and figuring out what was going on and training myself. If I'm just going to have it, I wanted to be trained and know what it was and hone the skills.
Did anything ever come through as a message that you were surprised about?
I do recall one specific reading for a gentleman. He had lost his partner, and he really was not, or appearing to me, to not be a believer. And we had this whole reading, and I was starting to actually feel like self-conscious about the reading, which many mediums do. Many psychics become self-conscious because you want to, give your reader, the person that you're reading for, what they want, And he seemed like a little angry or a little frustrated. And there was something about a birthday card that his partner was coming through about. And I was like, I'm not sure what this is. I don't know what this means, but he's talking about a birthday card. His partner was dying of cancer, couldn't leave the house, and would always go out and get birthday cards for his significant other, and he wasn't able to. And he ended up showing me that he wrote the card himself on paper, made it, did whatever he did, and left it on the desk. So when he came home, he could see the card. And he ended up, when his partner passed away, using that exact card and tattooed it on his chest. Wow. So that shocked me.
Yes.
That startled me because
that's incredible.
It was, upsetting. It was emotional. It was all of those things. So I was acting surprised, probably more than he,
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah.
How does it come through to you when you get a message?
A psychic message or a mediumship message?
So what is the difference?
So psychic message would be more for someone here, like on the earth plane. So if I was doing a reading for you and it was just psychic work, it would be Erica's life, what's going on in Erica's world, what things are popping up, and intuitively tuning into you, and your energy field, and helping you navigate what is going on or what potentially could be going on for you, and opportunities or roadblocks, whatnot. I would do that psychically, so it would be my energy kind of moving into your energy, and it would be a picture, like a picture in the head, or I would hear it, or just a knowing, a feeling, a sense.
How do you move into someone's energy?
I would say, so I would think of like the aura. You know what an aura is.
Yes, but explain what, please?
Your energy field, what you have around your body.
How do you see that? You see my aura?
Yes.
Ooh,
yes, I do.
Is it pretty?
Yes.
You really do?
Yes.
You see light around me now?
I do.
That's really neat.
It is. It's interesting. Yeah, I see a lot of white light around you.
What does that mean?
I would intuitively feel that that's a lot of innocence and a lot of high vibrational energy also around you, not only, coming from you.
Okay.
I actually feel like that's a clean slate too for you. So,
I love that.
yes, I like that too. But
That's great.
I think when as a psychic, as a medium, for me, this has been a lot of years in training. This isn't, just something that happened yesterday.
Right.
You just learn that all of this is energy work. So when you are working with energy, whether it be in the spirit world or whether it be with person who's on the earth plane, you are kind of blending your energy into their energy.
And you learn how to do that in classes.
I believe, yeah, that's how it is, set up. And whether everyone grasps it the same way, I don't know. I just know that's kind of the term that I would say, like moving your energy, into spirit, or moving your energy towards the person who's in front of you.
Is it constantly, do you have to turn it off? Is it constantly coming through? Or you have to go into somebody's energy in order for it to start coming through? But if you're just in we've seen a lot of different television shows where they can be in a store, and
Yeah.
you pick up on, it's almost like radio waves. You pick up on certain things that are going on.
Right.
So does that happen to you?
Not so much anymore.
Okay.
I have
You're
to
able
say.
to tune it out.
I don't try to, but I think it's also a matter of privacy as well,
Mhm.
because you don't want to really invade people's personal, stuff. You don't want to do that. And I think I've learned that it's really not good for me either to always be on. I will get certain drop-ins sometimes, or certain things will pop up and I'm like, "Oh, okay. All right." But I have to say it's consider personal space, consider people's privacy. They're not asking you to read for them. Kind of, you walk a fine line,
Mhm.
and you don't want to cross that line. If something was imperative and if it was you or like someone I know, then it would be a different story. But, you try to shy away from like, people that you really don't know walking up to them. I mean, it's happened a couple times. Some things have happened, but I've learned along the way that you really shouldn't do that,
Right.
and you really don't know how people are going to feel about that.
No.
And it's just not, recommended.
Do family members ask you for readings all the time, or is it just something that doesn't happen as much?
Everyone doesn't know in my
Yeah.
family. I don't try to discuss
No,
this.
that's why I never knew. I never knew that about you. It wasn't something that we've ever had a conversation about, and so it was very surprising for me. I had no idea for all the years that I knew you. And you had a business that I would go to that had nothing to do with that. So I had no idea. And so when you said those things to me, I was so taken back that I couldn't believe it. And there was no way you would have had that information.
Yeah, no.
It's incredible. There's a lot of skeptics out there about it. How do you, I want to say the word prove, or how do you show people that what you do is real?
I think the point that I am at now, because it's been many years, it's probably been about 16, 17
Wow.
years in the making, of really, educating and workshops and working hard, that the proving for me is not concern, because I rely a lot on the fact that I know that if I am doing mediumship work, that spirit will always be there. Their people will show up, and I trust that. And every message that I convey to the person who's sitting in front of me, honestly, it's for them really to decode. I try not to sit there and figure it out all the time, because I think that's also where you could get tripped up, and then someone is interpreting, or a medium tries to interpret, and it could change the whole meaning. And then that's where you would end up saying like, oh, they didn't know what they were talking about. So you have to really be careful with that,
Mm-hmm.
and how you deliver, and trying not to put your own spin on things. It becomes a little bit tricky.
Yes.
And you have to watch yourself. You do. You have to watch, because you want to tend to put your own spin on things,
Mhm.
but it's really not for the medium to do. And I do really try to stand on that. And I always let everyone know that, this is for you to figure out.
How do messages come through for you?
When I'm doing a reading for mediumship, generally I will see the person in spirit in my mind's eye. They will show me specific things like a garden, or, a farm. They also can do words, like drop in words, and also kind of like give me a feeling or an essence. It's hard to explain.
A smell or
I don't have that too much.
yeah.
That's not one of my biggies. Really, for me, I think the main way is visual, feeling, their presence, or seeing them, describing what they look like, their wording, giving names.
Is there ever a specific age that you see them in? Is it when they've passed away, or do they show you different ages of themselves?
I could see sometimes it's multiple
Mm,
ages.
wow.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is.
A lot of times there's those who, they were very, very beautiful, or very into clothes, and how they come through, or how they want to come across, is really interesting. And it's part of their essence, and it's part of who they are. So it
Mhm.
would actually make a lot of sense.
Right,
You
right.
know,
So here's a question. If someone, I have to ask this.
of course you do.
So, so if you're thinking of someone who passed and a song comes on the radio that absolutely has to do with them, is that spirit coming through, or is it just a coincidence? How do you know the difference um, between a coincidence versus, oh, that's spirit? Because there can be songs.
Of course.
Trust me.
Yes.
There can be
Yes.
songs that will come on and you're like, oh, that's them. It has to be.
I actually think that, listen, I'm sure sometimes it is coincidence. However, for me, I would lean toward, if you want to, have a definitive on that, you would say, okay, if you're around me, if you're here,
Yes.
here's one sign, but I need to know for sure. And I would ask for another sign.
Yes.
That day, that, or that within an hour, or whatever it is going to be. Because I do feel like, yes, there are some times where these things do happen. And a lot of times it happens around significant periods
Yes.
in your life, whether it be an anniversary, or the
A
death
birthday or the death.
of,
Yeah.
it just, those types of things
Yes.
would make a lot of sense. I mean, I personally don't read for myself. I don't do that at all. I
Really?
don't speak to my loved ones.
You don't?
No, at all. It's not, to me, this is just my opinion. I feel it's not. How would you validate? Usually when you're a medium, you're supposed to be reading for the person in front of you. And you cannot do that for yourself. It would be, to me, it would come out biased, or you don't know if you're in, if it's to
Yes.
benefit yourself.
Because you don't know, because you know that information. So you don't know if it's just coming to you, and
Yeah, it's just complicated, and I think it's best for me personally not to delve into that.
right.
But and there are other people who may not agree with me. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
No, that's great. Okay. So the average person, they want to tap into a little psychicness. How is there an exercise that you can do to kind of see your skills? Because we all have them somewhere. Is that true?
I think we all have certain intuitive skills. I do.
Is there a fun exercise you can do to kind of,
I think that if you are trying to really hone your skills and really figure out if you have a gift and you want to be disciplined, I think it's best you can take online classes now. I mean, when I started, it was not really on that level. It was more like you're going to, a place, a metaphysical church, and you're taking the
yes,
courses, and that's how you build, from there. But I would say now there's so many avenues, to this. And I think that you have to practice. Study under teachers that, have really great reviews and, are ethical.
yes,
Ethical is
that's a big thing.
it is a big thing.
And you have to really make sure, because unfortunately, there are people that aren't ethical always in
No,
this field.
they aren't.
And it must be that you have to prove yourself as a certain,
Sometimes you feel that way. And I think that anybody can, be wrong. This is not a science
That's
where
right.
you could definitively say, like, this is this. And it's just, I worked so hard for so long to really hone my skills along the way, actually unintentionally moving into mediumship, because that really was never my, goal or interest at all.
Really?
So, no, it never was.
It was just something that came to you.
It was a teacher inspired type of
Really?
thing. Yeah, she asked me to take her course in mediumship, and I really didn't want to.
What made her ask you? She saw you had the skills?
She was actually teaching psychic work, and I was doing well, and I think it was more than one course that I had taken with her. And I guess the development was moving forward pretty quickly, and I think that she felt that there was something there. What she saw, I don't really know. I actually didn't have any interest in it and didn't think I could do it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But it just ended up, as time went on, actually being something that I developed. So to me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't feel that I was a natural medium. There are some people who naturally see the dead. They've always seen them. I don't know if I've always had that. Maybe I didn't. I just didn't want to think I had it.
Maybe.
It's kind of it's odd.
Well, you definitely don't talk about it a lot in terms of when I see you. Before I knew you were a medium, I didn't know you were a medium for so many years. And it was just an episode that happened to me where you were able to tell me just a random event that had happened with somebody who had passed in my life, that I was shocked. There was no way you would have known it. And that's how I found out you were a medium, just through conversation. And I've always been fascinated with this topic. I think it's amazing. I love this. I became a certified ghost hunter years ago, and I think that is just incredible. I do get scared, so I'm not the bravest. I can talk about it, but I do get scared, and I can't watch scary movies. I don't know if you
I
can.
can't either.
No, I can't do it.
I can't
just
either.
can't. I can't watch them. So I don't watch them. They terrify me. So I'm not a brave person, but so fascinated with it. is there anybody historically or famous that either came through or you would have liked to have come through?
I don't think so. I don't know. I have never had any. I wouldn't even probably know if I did.
Right.
How would I know unless the person sitting in front of me was,
Someone
connected, or,
connected, yes.
that was their, in their lineage. I just would maybe Albert Einstein, maybe
Oh,
him.
that's great.
I think that would be an interesting
It
meetup.
would. It
But
would.
then again, it would have to be for another person.
So he couldn't just come through. You would have to be like.
Well, I mean, he could. He
So
could, but
when you think of that person, it's not that they'll come through because of the thought. It would have to be their energy, and it's just fascinating.
I think that's an interesting question, because I think, yes, it can be that way.
Right.
Okay. It can be that way for me when I'm reading for someone. And there often will be times where someone will be upset or disappointed that the person that they actually wanted or were coming for didn't come through. And I'll say, well, what is the name of this person? Don't give me the whole life story. I just need their name.
Right.
And it does create a link, and then I can bring them through if that's what's meant to be. And often it's fine, and it often works out. But someone famous is a little bit of a different type of connecting, I would think, because you just have to have that person who's connected to them.
Right.
And I don't know, I haven't come to that point yet
No, I understand that.
with that.
Yes. And it's interesting. You can do readings in person and you can do them on the phone as
Yes,
well. And you
I
do
can.
that,
Yes, I have.
which is incredible. And you do that on a
Pretty
quite
pretty
regular.
regular basis.
And that's so amazing. Again, it's the energy.
I actually prefer a lot of the time to be like over the phone.
How come?
Maybe because you're not putting pressure on yourself and looking at the person and feeling like you need to be something that they want, or it's not good enough, or they're disappointed, or whatever it is. It's
Mhm.
just actually helps better with the flow for me sometimes. Not always. Not always, but I do feel like a lot of the time it's a little bit easier for me.
Mhm.
And I just kind of blow through and can say what I want, because, we're human. We get in our own head,
Mhm.
and it really, all this is for us to help people,
Yes.
grieving or wanting that connection or wanting to understand, what else is beyond, the earth plane,
Yeah.
and if their person is okay.
And I think do people feel a sense of, once they've done a reading with you, do they feel a sense of calm, or does it sometimes overwhelm people, or is it, what is the reactions you see most of?
Calming.
Calming.
Yeah. Being more at ease
Yeah.
or peaceful.
Understanding that there's more
And that their person,
is good.
came through for them and gave information. And, that's really what this is about.
Mhm.
It's, from what I've been taught, and my understanding is, really the best way is to do evidential mediumship.
Explain what that is.
That's when you're in connection with someone in the spirit world, you need to give the person sitting for the reading, pieces of evidence of who they were, what they did, things that they would only know to allow them to know that this is who it is, because anybody can say, oh, so grandma's here,
Yes.
grandma loves you, like anybody
Yes.
could say that, but evidential
Specifics.
is geared toward, like you said earlier, proof.
You need proof.
People do need proof.
And when you get proof, I have to say personally, it's an incredible thing. It is. I mean, I talk about Dana a lot because she's really helped me through so many different things because of the proof and just giving me that comfort to know they're good and they're watching over us and
Exactly.
they're, watching over all of us. It's incredible. Can you tell me where or anybody could get in touch with you if they wanted a reading from you?
I mean, I think you can do email would probably be best.
And
That is danadig123@gmail.com.
and someone can reach out for in-person reading or on the phone reading.
Yes.
Are there any other types of readings, or
I mean, I would do Zoom.
Zoom as well?
I've done that plenty
That's
of times also.
And what is the normal time frame of a reading?
I try to stick to an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay, that's great. Can you do more than one reading a day, or is it very tiring?
Yeah, multiple readings.
You can.
Yeah, usually 2 or 3 is fine.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to share with the listeners about mediumship, that if they have a question or something that people may not understand about mediumship that you would share?
I think that if you are interested in, speaking to a medium or having a reading from a medium, and I don't even mean just me, I mean in general, and if you're grieving or even if you're not grieving, I highly suggest, reading up about it, understanding what it is that mediums do, just a basic understanding. And also, really do your research if you can, or if you can find it on people, get other, referrals, or, ask people how they felt about their reading, because you definitely want to go with somebody who's reputable and, is authentic. I'd hate to see people go to somebody and get a reading and it's like, well, $500 and I can remove the black cloud from you around your head type of thing.
Yes.
It's scary.
It is scary.
And people take advantage and it's just not good.
No.
So I'd rather people do their homework and, read up and know what they're looking for and, keep an open mind, really.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I really do. I think the gift you have is incredible.
Thank you.
And can you tell us again how they can get a hold of you?
It's danadig123@gmail.com.
That's great. How often do you do readings? Every week?
Every week.
Yeah. That's great.
Every week.
You think you'll keep doing it?
I will. I do think it's going to continue on. I love it.
You do love it.
I do.
You can tell you do.
I love it.
Yeah. It's
maybe at some point I'll, look into some sort of teaching or whatnot. That would be
do you still
amazing.
Take classes?
I actually am taking a class this weekend.
Wow.
Yes, there's a teacher coming from the UK, so that'll be exciting.
That's incredible. I just want to mention that Dana's been now doing this 16, 17 years and she's still learning. And I think that's really important that you know that about your medium, that they are continually learning and gaining knowledge, that
it's very important.
it is very important.
Keep doing the work. Nobody's, 100%, and you have to always strive to improve or know more or, do better. And, any avenue that you can take to improve and strengthen the skills, you do it. And, to keep using that, it's like, it's like muscles. It's like working out at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
Yeah, it is. You keep learning and you keep getting stronger.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Correct.
It's a great gift. And I just am honored that you came on the show. I
Well, thank you
thank
so
you.
much for having me. I
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much for coming and sharing and letting us know what mediumship is all about. And I would love to have you back.
I would love to come back.
Yes, maybe. And you know what? Maybe we'll do an episode where people can call in and you can.
That would be amazing.
Let's
I
do
love
that.
that.
Let's do
We
it. And
should
if
do that.
yeah, let's do that. And
Okay.
so that would be a lot of fun. And that way you can call in and you can ask your questions to Dana and we'll do a back and forth. I would love to do that. And hopefully we'll do that in the next month,
That would be
being
great.
that it's October. And we could
Yes.
have a lot of fun with that. And hopefully that we would get quite a bit of people. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to our first episode of Women in the Loop with much more to come. I have actually 2 podcasts right now. It's Women in the Loop and E in the Loop. And you'll be able to find us on YouTube on the E in the Loop YouTube channel for me, Erika Lupo. Also, we are on all social media. You can follow us at Women in the Loop on Instagram, Women in the Loop on Facebook, also Erika Lupo on Facebook, because you can follow me there as well. And I'm always posting all of this up, and you'll know our schedules and everything that needs to be done. Also, I am very excited that we are also going to be on Apple iTunes, Spotify, and a few more outlets as time goes on. So be sure to follow us, stay in the loop. I also am always posting my loop tip of the day on social media, just giving some positive reinforcement for our days. So it's very, very, very exciting. So excited you're on this journey with us. And I want to thank Dana again for being an awesome guest and
Thank
coming
you so
on.
much.
And look forward to having you back.
Can't wait.
And don't
That'll
forget.
be really fun.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I'm excited.
I am too. Thank you for listening to Women in the Loop, available on all major platforms. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, E in the Loop. Thanks for joining. Look forward to seeing you again, and stay in the loop.